The zip ties cut into my wrists as the SUV bounced over another rock, heading deeper into the Mojave Desert. Through the blindfold, I could see slivers of light, the last sunrise I might ever witness. My stepmother Janet hummed along to the radio in the front seat, as casual as if we were heading to Sunday brunch instead of my execution. How much further? My father asked from the driver's seat, his voice showing the first hint of nervousness in this whole ordeal. The GPS says another 12 miles, my stepbrother Connor replied. Cell service dropped out 5 miles back. We're good. Like they were discussing reception at a campsite, not the optimal place to leave me to die. I'm Meera Patel, 17 years old, and the unfortunate beneficiary of a trust fund that would have made me a millionaire on my 18th birthday. In just 3 weeks. The money came from my late mother's life insurance and her tech startup shares. Dad had remarried Janet 2 years ago, and suddenly my trust fund became a family obsession. The plan had been developing for months, though I only pieced it together in the last few days. The family camping trip that kept getting postponed. Connor's sudden interest in desert survival statistics. Janet's research into tragic hiking accidents that she thought I didn't notice on her browser history. But it was the life insurance policy that confirmed my fears. I'd found it in Dad's office, $1 million policy on my life, taken out 6 months ago, with Janet and Connor as beneficiaries alongside him. If I died before my 18th birthday, they'd get everything. The trust fund, the insurance payout, even my mother's house that was being held for me. This is far enough, Janet announced. Pull over by those rocks. The SUV stopped. Doors opened. Rough hands pulled me out, Connor's, from the cologne. They marched me about 50 feet from the vehicle, the ground burning even through my shoes. October in the Mojave was still brutal during the day, potentially fatal at night. On your knees, Connor commanded. I knelt on the burning sand, my bound hands making balance difficult. I heard the knife before I felt it, Connor cutting the zip ties. The blindfold came off next, flooding my vision with harsh desert light. We were in the middle of nowhere. Flat, cracked earth stretched to the horizon, broken only by distant mountains and scattered Joshua trees. No roads visible. No structures. No hope. Your backpack, Janet said, tossing it at my feet. Water, some food, sunscreen. Everything a girl needs for a solo hike. I knew what was in that pack. 2 bottles of water in a desert where you need a gallon per day minimum. A few protein bars. Sunscreen that would be useless once the sun peaked. No map, no compass, no emergency beacon. Just enough supplies to make it look like I'd tried to survive. Please, I said, looking at my father. Dad, you don't have to do this. He couldn't meet my eyes. You wanted to go hiking. Kept talking about it. We tried to stop you, but you're so stubborn. Just like your mother. I never said I wanted to go hiking. You know I hate the outdoors. That's not what you told your friend Alexis, Connor smirked, holding up my phone. Check your texts. I had checked them, or rather, Connor had, using my phone while I slept, sending messages about my secret solo hike to my best friend. Creating a digital trail of a rebellious teenager who snuck off on a dangerous adventure. Stand up, Janet ordered. Start walking. That way. She pointed toward the emptiest stretch of desert. You're going to leave me here to die. We're not leaving you anywhere, she said with practiced innocence. We're at the hotel in Barstow, remember? You snuck out early this morning for your hike. We didn't even know you were gone until Alexis called, worried about your texts. Such a tragedy when they find your body. If they find it. Connor grabbed my arm, spinning me to face the desert. Walk, or I'll break your legs and you can crawl. I started walking. What else could I do? Fight 3 adults in the middle of nowhere? Behind me, I heard them get back in the SUV. The engine started. But then I did something they didn't expect. I smiled. What are you smiling about? Connor called out. I turned back, memorizing their faces. Just thinking about clouds. They exchanged confused looks, then drove off, leaving me alone in the vast desert with inadequate supplies and no hope of rescue. Or so they thought. What they didn't know was that 3 days ago, when I discovered the insurance policy and realized what they were planning, I'd changed a setting on my phone. A simple toggle in the location services. Upload to cloud, always. Every GPS ping, every location update, every movement of my phone was being backed up to my cloud storage in real time. Including this exact spot in the middle of the Mojave where they'd left me to die. They had my phone now, but the damage was done. The location history was already uploaded, showing the drive from our house to this spot. showing the phone stationary here for several minutes, showing the return journey without me. I also knew something else they didn't. Alexis wasn't just my best friend. She was the daughter of a Los Angeles County Sheriff's detective. And she had the password to my cloud account, along with instructions to check it if anything suspicious happened to me. But first, I had to survive. The desert was an oven. Within an hour, I'd drunk half my water just trying to stay conscious. The hiking clothes they'd forced me to wear, chosen by Janet for authenticity, were completely inadequate. Shorts and a tank top in a place where exposed skin could literally cook. I found a small overhang of rock that provided minimal shade and tried to think. Walking in any direction was suicide. I'd die of heat stroke or dehydration long before reaching civilization. My best bet was to stay put, conserve energy, and hope Alexis followed through. The first night was hell. The temperature plummeted from over 100 to near freezing. I huddled against the rocks, shivering violently, rationing my remaining water in tiny sips. Coyotes howled in the distance. Something rustled in the brush nearby. Snake, lizard, or something worse. Dawn brought the heat again. My water was gone. My lips were cracked and bleeding. Dehydration was making me dizzy, confused. I knew I was dying. That's when I heard them. Helicopters. 2 search and rescue choppers appeared on the horizon, growing larger. I stumbled out from my shelter, waving my empty water bottles, trying to reflect sunlight off them. The lead helicopter banked sharply. They'd seen me. The rescue was a blur. Paramedics checking vitals for fluids, the blessed relief of air conditioning. But what I remember most clearly was Detective Rodriguez, Alexis's father, sitting beside my hospital bed 12 hours later. "Your friend was smart," he said. "When those texts didn't sound like you, she got worried. When you didn't answer calls, she checked your cloud account like you'd told her. She saw your phone's journey into the desert and called me immediately." "My family," I croaked. His face darkened. "Currently at a press conference, crying about their missing daughter. They filed a missing person report this morning, claiming you snuck out for a dangerous solo hike." He pulled out a tablet, showing me the news footage. "She said she was going hiking alone." My father cried on screen, tears streaming. "We tried to stop her, but she's been so rebellious lately. Please, if anyone's seen Mira, help us bring our baby home." Janet stood beside him, the picture of a distraught stepmother. Connor held up a photo of me, one they'd taken just last week, where I looked sullen and defiant, perfect for their narrative. "Great performance," I said. "When do you arrest them?" "Soon. But here's the interesting part." Rodriguez pulled up satellite images on his tablet. "Your phone's GPS led us straight to where we found you. But it also showed something else. Their vehicle's path through the desert. And guess what search and rescue found?" He swiped to the next image. Clear tire tracks in the desert sand, preserved in the dry environment. The SUV's path to the exact spot where I'd been abandoned, and its return journey, alone. "But it gets better," Rodriguez continued. "Your stepbrother was sloppy. He posted on Instagram yesterday, supposedly from Barstow. But the metadata shows the photo was taken at your house. They never went to any hotel. They drove you to the desert and came straight home. The arrests happened during their second press conference. As Dad made another tearful plea for my safe return, officers moved in. The shock on their faces when they realized I'd been found alive was captured by every news camera present. "Mira," Janet gasped as they cuffed her. "But how?" "Cloud storage," I said simply. "You took my phone, but my location was already uploaded. Every mile, every turn, every stop, including the one where you left me to die." The trial revealed the full scope of their plan. Prosecutors found Janet's research on desert survival rates, less than 24 hours without proper supplies. Connor's messages to friends about coming into money soon. The insurance policy with its suspicious timing. But the most damning evidence was the digital trail. My phone's location history showed I'd never been hiking voluntarily. It traveled from my bedroom to the SUV to the desert in one continuous journey. The fake texts to Alexis were sent while the phone was still at our house, proving I hadn't written them. The defendants created an elaborate fiction, the prosecutor stated. A rebellious teenager who snuck out for a dangerous hike. But technology told the truth. GPS doesn't lie. Location data doesn't have an agenda. It simply recorded the attempted murder of a 17-year-old girl for money. They were all convicted. Dad got 25 years for attempted murder. Janet got 30 as the mastermind. Connor, despite being only 19, got 20 years. The The judge called it one of the most cold-blooded schemes he'd ever seen. "You didn't just try to kill Mira," he said during sentencing. "You tried to assassinate her character, to make her death her own fault. You used technology to create a false narrative, not realizing that same technology was documenting your crimes in real time." I testified about those 2 days in the desert, the certainty that I would die, the hallucinations from dehydration, the moment I heard the helicopters and thought I was imagining them, but also about the 3 days before, when I discovered their plan and quietly prepared my digital insurance policy. "I couldn't stop them from taking me," I said, "but I could make sure someone would know where they took me. The trust fund I almost died for now pays for my college and therapy. The house my mother left me is my sanctuary, fitted with security systems and location trackers I'll probably never stop needing. Alexis remains my best friend, the one who noticed fake texts didn't sound like me and acted on it. Detective Rodriguez told me something during the investigation that stuck. Your family thought the desert would hide their crime. No witnesses, no cameras, no evidence. They didn't realize that in 2024, we carry the ultimate witness in our pockets. Your phone saved your life." He was right. My family left me in the desert to die, then cried on TV about their missing daughter. But my phone had already uploaded the truth to the cloud, coordinates that led directly to attempted murder. They thought the Mojave would keep their secret. Instead, satellites and cell towers and GPS coordinates exposed them to the world. They filed a missing person report for someone they knew exactly where they'd left, 40 miles from nowhere with 2 bottles of water and a death sentence. Technology saved me twice. First, by recording where they left me to die. Second, by guiding my rescue to those exact coordinates. The same phone they used to fake my hiking plans became the witness that sent them to prison. Sometimes I still dream about the desert. The crushing heat, the endless horizon, the certainty of death. But I also remember the sound of helicopter blades cutting through that silence, following a digital trail my would-be killers didn't know existed. They drove me to the middle of nowhere and left me to die. My phone's last location led search and rescue straight to me, and investigators straight to them. The cloud remembered what they hoped the desert would forget.